Previously on Renaissance City.
Al found out that this woman who was born Maria Consta Gonzalez, but who was known as Spooks on the streets, was his half-sister. A lot of why he started to steal from the rich was to support Spooks and her community.
If one side or the other wasn't around anymore, you would give up that duality?
Well, I think if there was one person alive that Al loved, he would not give up the duality.
I think your name is in the public. I don't know how public Saint Shadow himself has actually been.
He's not ever. Like, the things that are happening with King and Raymond are like the first time that he's really been out there in the public eye. Let's go down to the bridge during the day.
Yeah, you have like a ratty overcoat and a scarf, and you put on a.
That's what I'm doing. I'm
like put on a bowler and.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm rocking. I'm rocking like the old Carmen Sandiego.
Yes.
I know of a specific person who's usually down there. They call him Frank the Zapper. Weird dude, very talkative. Frank, that's what they call you, isn't it?
Yeah, friend. Who are you?
I'm Joe.
Good to meet you, Joe.
Frank, you care to play a game? Friendly wager? A few of our friends have gotten some real weird injury. You know what I'm talking about?
It's been pretty dangerous. So, Joe, who are you? I mean, it's not just anybody that comes down here just asking these kind of questions. Who are you?
Frank, that's a fair question. Let me just say I'm a friend. Can we leave it at that? Do you know who's doing it? Why they're doing it?
I don't have a clue.
Have you noticed any patterns? Like it's always on a specific day, or always during a certain time, or in certain places?
I mean, I can show you where it's been happening. He walks you several hundred yards upriver and then stops and just kind of points up into the woods.
We're going to go for an old-fashioned stakeout.
Do you come back immediately after dark?
No, like the next night.
Let's start with a good old covert roll.
6 successes.
There isn't really anybody in the area to even notice you. You can see some barrel fires down by the river side. They're all 100 or more yards away through the trees. It's not hard for you to stay hidden up here at night. You're an adept climber. I assume that you would perch up somewhere high.
Yeah.
Get a good vantage point and see as far as you possibly can around. Do you have something that lets you see in the dark?
Yes, the troubadour has fashioned me a pair of goggles with lenses that allow me to see a little bit better at night. Can't see great, but I can see a little bit better.
Okay. You see a little bit of, nocturnal wildlife. Like I said, you can see the barrel fires, but there's really not much going on for the first several hours that you're there. Roll, is it perception? Yeah, make a perception roll.
6 successes.
Damn, and you got 8 dice in that too.
Yeah.
Nice. So it's not long after midnight when you hear something that sounds much larger than just what you would think is the normal nocturnal wildlife that would live in and around these woods. It doesn't sound like footsteps, but it does sound like something's being dragged along the forest floor.
Is it close enough to me that I can track it?
You could attempt to. You can't see it through the woods, but you can hear the
crunching of branches and whatnot.
Yeah.
So let's make our way to that noise. If possible, I'd like to stay in the tree line as much as I can, like above.
Okay.
How thickly wooded is this area?
With your agility, I don't think you'd have any difficulty making those things happen. You're strong enough, you're agile enough that you could make those jumps, leap, catch yourself, Legolas your way through some of the trees.
Right.
First, let's make... Okay, are you more interested, meta, is it more important that you stay in the trees, or is it more important that you stay hidden? Because I'm going to make you make 2 rolls, and dependent upon how you answer this question will depend on which of those 2 rolls you get a penalty against.
Got it. I want to be above.
Okay.
I don't know that I want to be on the ground yet. So it's more important to me that I'm above versus completely hidden.
Okay. So first, make an agility roll.
Okay. Oh my God. 1 success.
On 8 dice, 1 success.
8 fucking dice, 1
Oof.
success.
Ooh.
2,
that's
5,
rough.
5, 5, 1, 1, 3.
You hear this sound, and it kind of catches you off guard, I think. You're very hyper aware, and you are very... I think you become so intent on figuring this out, and you hear this sound, and you immediately turn and try to make a leap from the branch that you're on, and you take 2 steps, and you jump out to the next tree to head off in that direction. And instead of landing on your feet on the next large branch, you hit chest first. I mean, you're still in the tree. It's not like you fell out of the tree, but you misjudged it because it is so dark out and you only have a limited vision. And you thud chest first into the tree branch across, and you're holding on. What do you do?
Where am I in relation to the noise?
You're maybe 20 feet closer than you were. 15 feet closer than you were.
All right. And am I closer at this point to the ground?
No, you're still up in the tree.
Okay. I'll pull myself up and keep trucking.
Okay. Make me another agility roll. You know what? Actually, first, let's go back. Let's step back. To pull yourself up into the tree, I want you to make a might roll first.
Oh, might. 1 success.
Okay, that's enough. You're in shape. It's not like you can't do a pull-up.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? You nearly knocked the wind out of yourself. And you stand up in the tree. You're trying to catch your breath. You're going to stay and attempt to get to the next tree from where you are?
Yeah, I want to continue to follow the dragging. Go in the direction of the dragging.
Okay, right. Yeah. But you're still doing it from the canopy.
Correct.
Okay. Roll agility.
All right. 2 successes.
With 2 successes, I think that you're able to close the distance. You run down the branch, you make your leap off, you deftly land on the next one. Are you trying to stay stealthy as you can with this? Is that right?
Yeah, as stealthy as I can.
Okay, roll covert, but I want it at -2, please.
1 success.
1 success. It's early springtime, and so it's a little damp at night. But it's also, you know what I mean, trees aren't even really starting to bud yet. And so there's still a lot of grown to the trees themselves because they're still dried out and haven't come back to life necessarily. That green isn't inside of them. So um, you're able to keep moving through the canopy, but you didn't anticipate how your footfalls were going to equate to sound amongst the trees themselves.
Hmm.
So you're making your way there, but you're making a lot more noise than you thought you would be.
Right.
You've closed about half the distance at this point. Do you want to stop or do you want to keep going?
No, keep going.
Okay, give me another agility roll then.
5 successes.
I think at this point your eyes have maybe made more of an adjustment to where you are, or maybe there's a break. That's it. There's kind of a break in the canopy of the trees, and there's a little more moonlight here, and so it's easier for you to see your footfalls and where you're going to be moving to next. And um, you are bounding through these trees. As you're approaching, I assume you're going to still attempt to do this as stealthily as possible.
Yes.
Okay, give me another covert roll, but do it at -2, please.
3 successes.
3. Okay. Yeah. So with that moonlight, you're able to place your feet a little bit more intently than you did before. So you are making your way, and you get about 250 yards. The trees are starting to thin out in this area a little bit. And how close would you get to where the sound was? Would you attempt to try to get right over the top of it? Or are you
Yeah,
just
I mean,
trying to get to the first place where you could maybe see?
I want to see what it is. Like that's what I'm trying to figure out, and if it's got somebody with it, or I'm just trying to figure out what the situation is. As far as I know, I mean, I don't think so, but it could just be this could just be a wolf, completely unrelated to what I'm looking for. I don't know for sure yet. I haven't caught up yet. I just know it's really big.
You get a couple hundred yards from where you started, and you can see 2 people, and they are dragging a cart of some sort. When I say cart, I mean like a pallet, like a makeshift pallet of some sort, and it has a mound on it, a covered mound on it, and they are dragging it through the woods, and appear to be dragging it toward the riverbank.
Is it on wheels?
No.
No, they're just dragging it through the ground.
Yeah.
Um,
So like they've lifted up one end, and the back end of it, the pallet itself is probably 7 or 8 feet long. It's probably about 2.5, 3 feet wide. It's mounded with something, and they are on each side of it at the front, and they have the front of it lifted off the ground, and they are dragging it through the dirt.
am I close enough to use a weapon, throwing weapon?
Yeah.
I want to throw a dagger at one of the guys carrying it, but trying to hit his lower leg, his ankle, his foot. Not to kill him, but just to harm him and freak him out.
Just to incapacitate him and freak him out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, make an agility roll.
All right, and then I get the 1 extra for the dagger, right?
You do get the 1 extra for the dagger. Yes, you do. But you're intentionally doing non-lethal damage.
Yes. 3.
Yeah, tell me how it happens.
I'm up in my vantage point, and I pull out my crazy, like shiny dagger. Like I pull it out, like the moon glistens off of it for a moment, and I fling it. It's like my vision is otherworldly. Maybe it's the glasses I'm wearing. I'm not sure, but it's like I can pinpoint right in on his ankle, and so I fling the dagger, and it just nails like right on your shin bone. Not shin. What's that little bone that comes out of your foot?
Your ankle?
Is that what they call it? Does that have a different name, or is it just the ankle bone? Anyway,
I'm not a doctor.
That fucking dagger goes right into the ankle bone, and I'm hoping that he screams and drops the pallet.
Oh, he screams. Definitely, for sure, he screams. He screams, and yeah, he drops the pallet and falls to the ground, and is rolling around. And the other person that is with him, they drop the pallet and come over to see what is wrong with the other person that's there with them.
All right, can I take an attack on him as well?
You certainly can try.
What does 6 successes do to your face?
It makes me laugh. Yeah, tell me what happens.
So this Joker bends down to check on his buddy. Hey, dude, what are you doing? Hey, man, what are you doing? Are you okay? Why'd you drop the pallet? And no, sooner than he finishes the sentence, he gets a dagger in his shoulder. What's that bone that comes out of your shoulder? The shoulder blade. He gets a dagger right in his shoulder blade and falls to the ground screaming.
Okay, so there are now 2 people screaming, laying in the woods, in the same area that the other people that have been screaming over the last several weeks have been being mutilated and tortured and killed in some crazy odd way.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really think about that connection. All right.
So it's not long after the screaming starts that you see about a dozen torches, and a group of people come running from the Hooverville on the riverbank with lit torches in their hands, running towards you into the woods. What are you gonna do?
I'm still up top, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna climb up more and hide.
Agility. Give me an agility roll.
3.
Give me a covert roll, -2.
1.
1 covert roll.
Yeah.
3 agility. Okay, so tell me what happens. Tell me what you do.
The crowd is this crowd of torches is descending upon the screaming, and I notice a succession of like 4 different branches. It's almost like a ladder to me, is how I see it. And so I just jump and I grab the first branch, and I just bound my way up another 3 or 4 branches through this natural tree ladder, and perch on that 4th branch.
As you're making your way up, you do happen to knock a branch loose, and it does come kind of clattering down through the trees, which I think kind of gives you pause and might put a little anxiety around whether you're going to be found out or not. But you are pretty high up in the tree, and it's not like they have flashlights. You know, it's a dozen or so people running through the woods towards the screams of 2 people that have some very... Describe your daggers.
They're nondescript little iron or silver. I don't know. What would have been the steel? Yeah, steel daggers. I just buy them in bulk.
Okay. So there's not markings on them. It's not like your Batman and your batarangs. You know what I mean? If somebody was to find a batarang, they would know for sure that Batman had been there or whatever.
Right. No, nothing like that.
Okay. So you're just gonna sit and wait and watch?
Yeah.
Okay, so they make their way into the woods, and the guy with the one on his shoulder has calmed down a bit, and you can overhear as the group gets to them. They seem to know each other. They, you know what I mean. There's general concern from the group, and they pick up the sled, and they're carrying it now instead of dragging it. But half a dozen of them have picked up the sled, and they are all walking with the sled through the woods, while the other two are being helped back into the Hooverville.
Were they residents of Hooverville that I just attacked?
It seems that way.
All right. Well, that was not what I was hoping for. All right, I'm gonna drop down to the ground and try and get a closer look and follow in the shadows.
Okay. Are you trying to be stealthy or are you trying to be agile?
I'm trying to be stealthy.
Okay, so I want you to roll covert this time with all your dice, and then roll agility at -2.
Okay. All my coverts. Okay, 5 successes on covert and agility -2. And 5 successes on agility.
Tell me how you get out of this tree and where you go from there.
So I've got like the softest, most gentle hands, but they're very strong. And so when I recognize that I gotta get down, I like take a jump, like a jump from the top branch and kind of do a swan dive, but I grab onto the branch below it, and then I twirl around it like in the Olympics. And
so you're on the parallel bar?
Oh, on the parallel bars, I'm like twirling around it, and I do like a 2-quarter flip, and then I land like a ballerina in a plie, and all you really hear is just a little brushing of leaves.
Okay. How very agile of you. Your ballet classes have paid off.
Yeah.
So you're keeping your distance while still keeping track of the group as they make their way through the woods, and they get. How far behind them are you? Would you say? 20 yards, 30.
Like timeout, like from a real perspective, like Jazz has no idea about time and space relations.
Okay. If you're standing in your front yard, are they
like halfway down the street?
Halfway down the street. Okay. They get maybe 50 or 60 yards from the edge of the woods. And with your night vision, it's not like infrared.
No.
Right?
No, it's like a certain kind of lens. You know how like
so it's like a cat eye lens.
Yeah, you know,
where
or
you
like
can it just filters in more light.
Right.
Okay. So instead of being like a grayscale, like a real deep grayscale, you actually it's like you're in a low light situation.
Yeah. Like it's like black and white, you know, the lights are a little brighter, and so that helps kind of paint the picture what's happening.
Okay. You see one of them from the middle of the group raise up into the air violently fast. I mean, very, very quickly. Like they shoot up off the ground, and their torch goes flying, and their arms and legs are flailing, and they have no control. They scream as they fly directly up into the tree line.
What? I came on the ground for this? Cut out a front row view. Just like it seemed like randomly, or they weren't like circled around him or anything like that. Like they knew he was going to be the one to go up.
No, they were all making their way back to the riverbank to go back into the Hooverville, and one of them just seems to be plucked out of the middle of the group and screaming goes flying up into the tree line. What do you do?
I'm going towards where he was taken.
Okay, so you're going to rush towards the group?
Yeah.
Okay. They all start to scatter. And they're all yelling and running in opposite directions. And they scatter. Are you trying to move fast, or are you trying to stay hidden?
No, I'm trying to move fast at this.
Okay, give me an agility roll. Let's see how fast you're moving.
3 successes.
Okay. Tell me how you make your way and where you end up.
So I'm on the ground. They're like half a block in front of me. Dude just got whipped up into the air. I just charge middle without saying a word. I'm just like but I run with my feet, my arms and feet like an animal, like big strides on all fours.
Okay.
Almost to give the impression like I could be a panther or something. If I can get to it, like I want to end up exactly where the guy got taken.
Okay. Yeah. It does not take you long at all to close the distance between you and where that guy got flung up into the air. And you can still hear him screaming. And it's loud. And then you hear a snap and another snap. And the screams become much more shrill, much more pain instead of fear. Roll a perception roll.
2.
In another couple of seconds, the screams of this man start barreling toward you, as if instead of going up, he is now coming down. And you hear another couple of sickly snaps, and the screams stop.
Is he falling?
Well, that's what you had assumed. And you look up, and you can see him falling in your direction. Not exactly, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to fall and hit you. You have time to move out of the way. He's not headed in a direct path for you. But you can see that he is coming down out of the tree line toward the ground.
All right. Is there like is this like an open spot, like beyond the forest, or is it still in the woods?
You're still in the forest.
So can I climb up trees, like try and reclimb to see what the hell is it that might have taken him?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, that's what I would like to attempt to do.
Roll agility.
8 successes.
Are you trying to stay covert, or do you care at this point?
I don't care at this point.
Okay. Tell me how you get up, where you get up, and where you end up, please.
I would just climb and climb until I saw something, or I could not get any further up, or I was at the top of the trees. Because I don't know exactly what I'm looking for. I just like start in a frenzy, like almost driven by raw emotion and instinct, just grabbing branch after branch after branch. Every single time I ascend a level, I'm looking around, and if I'm not seeing anything, I just keep moving and just keep moving.
You very quickly get about 40, 50 feet up into this tree, and some of these are pretty big old growth trees. You know what I mean? You've seen some of the woods that are left to grow along riverbanks, and you get up into this tree and you really don't see anything, and you start making a perimeter around as quickly as you can through the trees, very deftly, and you're looking and you're searching and you're listening, but you're still moving very, very quickly, and you're making a wider perimeter and a wider perimeter, and you're trying to find some sort of clue as to what this is or how this happened. And after several minutes, you get at least 300 or 400 yards out from the Hooverville itself and up the hill, and you hear the rumble of a motorcycle. And it, you know what I mean? And that rumble of the start of a motorcycle.
Okay.
And it very quickly revs up and takes off back toward the city of Detroit.
Is there any way for me to follow it?
No. That's where we're going to end.
Yeah. God. I can't believe I... Wait, can I arrange for medical help for the two homeless guys?
Of course.
Threw
Of course
daggers
you
at.
can.
And also, what was on the pallet?
Various supplies.
Oh, I totally misread that. entire situation.
Some blankets, some food, some firewood. Yeah, I mean, I kind of had a feeling that you might do that, so I was kind of being tricky and trying to get you to do something that would spark something like that, but you never know. You know, I didn't know if you would try to investigate or if you were just going to go in and just get them, and you went in and got them.
God dang it. Yeah, I want to arrange for their medical treatment and also make sure that they each got like a couple, like $3 extra slipped on them.
Okay.
For their
That's
pain
no problem.
And suffering.
Gary and John, they get stitches. You see to it and make sure that they get taken care of. They don't die of gangrene.
That's good. That's really good. So the Sable, they rode a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
And they had the ability to like teleport things. Or like,
it is very similar to something you watched them do to that robot. Yes.
Well,
more than anything else, I'm just glad to play the game with you guys. It's so fun.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
It's so fun and it's so fulfilling. And it just makes me fucking laugh.
Yeah. Me too.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite superhero GM, Duke, at Invisible Duke on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope that this was a good finale to the Shadow Solo episodes. I cannot wait for you guys to hear what happens when we get the group back together. If you remember, they captured Frenzy at the end of the last group episode before these last two. And a lot of things... Well, it gets real exciting. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We are always so grateful for all of the free clicks that we get, the shares, the follows, all of those things. So please keep doing that and help us get the word out about what we're doing. I am, as always, so happy and proud to be part of this TTRP Theater family. If you haven't checked out any of our other shows, please go out and do it. We're hopeful that D&DDT can make a return soon. This COVID-19 pandemic has got them separated as they maintain physical distance from each other currently. Beth and her crew are killing it right now with the story that they're telling. Please check them out on Wednesday nights. I'm so happy and proud to be part of the Long Strange Trip game that we play on Friday nights. Henry D. Green gets to make the occasional appearance there, and it's always so much fun to play with all of them. If you want to find any of our other content, check it out on our YouTube page. Everything we've ever done for the last almost year. Oh my God, it's been almost a year. For the last year is available on our YouTube page. come to our Discord channel, check that out. We're always there, being silly, sharing memes. Thanks again to my players, old friends of mine. I'm so happy that we do this. It really is so enjoyable for all of us, and I can't wait for you guys to hear where they take it moving forward. We had a really great session not long ago, and I'm super excited to get that stuff out there for you all. Oh, Jaylee, she and several of our regular cast members are starting a new podcast project called 4 PCs in a Podcast. It's a Dungeon World game, and if you become a patron on our Patreon, you can end up as an NPC. If you have a spare buck or two and want to help us continue this crazy project that we started, please check us out on Patreon, TTRP Theater. Okay, so I keep saying that I'm gonna script this and then I don't do it because I'm a procrastinator. I'll go with an old standard. Wash your fucking hands. Good night.